Babu. Sir, just a minute, sir. Dr. Suresh Babu working as a assistant professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, National Institute of Technology, Warangal. And Dr. Babu obtained his PhD from JNTU Kakinada, specializing in network and security. He secured his MTech in Computer Science and Engineering from Visvesvaraya Technology University, Belgaum, and a BTech in Computer Science and Engineering from JNTU, Hyderabad. Dr. Babu has 16 years of research and teaching in different levels of professors, associate and assistant professor. In past, Dr. Babu was awarded Best Teacher Award twice for the academic year 2015-16 and 16-17 at KL University, Vadishwaram. Dr. Babu has held various administrative positions at KL University, Vijayawada, Andhra Pradesh, including Director, Associate Dean, UG and PG Research and Academic Projects, BOG, Academic Council Member, Head of the Department, CSE, and Co-Convener of University Technical Fest. Dr. Babu works in the area of blockchain technology, Internet of Things, IoT security, wireless networks, and wireless Hadoop network security. Some of the areas where he has contributed include DNA cryptography, managed security attacks and defense measures, IoT security using blockchain. He has 65 plus referred international publications, including journals and conferences, 15 book chapters, 18 plus invited talks across Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Karnataka, and Orissa states. 40 plus students lectured on networking and security related topics. Dr. Babu received a CSI Academic Award, Paper Presenter Award at International Conference held at CSI Annual Convention during 19th through 21st January 2018 at Science City, Kolkata, and received two more Best Paper Awards at the International Conference. Once again, I would like to welcome our resource person and participants. Welcome you.
Thank you, madam. Thank you for your nice introduction, introducing me. Thank you. Very good afternoon to all the participants. It's my privilege and thank the coordinators for inviting me to deliver a topic on blockchain technology, which is conducted 6 weeks FDP, 1 week FDP program, where my topic is on the role of the cybersecurity in blockchain technology, which we're going to see it. First, let me share my screen to you. My PPT is visible to you, madam? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, visible.
My PPT is visible?
Yes, sir, visible, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, madam, thank you. So now we are going to see what is the role of, there's a small mistake, the role of a blockchain in cybersecurity. We can have, or the cybersecurity, how it is going to play a vital, how blockchain is going to provide a vital role in cybersecurity. Now, see here, the cybersecurity is one of the real time entity or real time technology or tool need to be provided for all the different types of technologies which are coming in and around for providing the solutions. Well, my session will go like this, which we'll try to see. The blockchain is going to drive the various technologies, how it is going to drive the various technologies, if you see various trends that are happening in distributed environment. If you take IoT, or if you take big data, if you take a cloud computing, if you take fog computing, if you take augmented reality or virtual reality, or cyber physical system or additive manufacturing, how can we apply this blockchain, which is going to drive the various technologies? Then we'll try to see what are the various types of trends or what are various trends of attacks, real-time attacks against these technologies. These are not textbook attacks or these are not research-oriented attacks. These are all real-time attacks which are happening against the various technologies that are there in the market. And what is the need of cybersecurity that we are going to see? Does the cybersecurity already exist? That's a question to all the participants. We do have, we are having a cybersecurity. Does cybersecurity already there? Can anyone tell about that? Okay. Now, see how we are going. Does the cybersecurity already exist? We'll try to see what are the already cybersecurity solutions and how what are the problems out there, and how the trend is moved from centralized system to decentralized system. What are the problems with centralized system to decentralized system? And then finally, we are going to end up with the cybersecurity using the blockchain. Okay. We'll try to see the first is a blockchain that is going to drive the various technologies. We try to see quickly the 5G technology and how can we link this 5G network or the security on 5G network with blockchain. That's a good interesting area where we can work it out on that. The second one is cyber security and blockchain. Now, how the cyber security is going to work very closely with the blockchain, how the blockchain is going to provide enhanced security, how it has built-in security features that are provided various solutions. So therefore, there is a lot of relationships there between the cybersecurity and the blockchain. The third one, which we're going to talk about, how can we provide a security and the privacy for the data which has been generated from various IoT devices or big data. We are not talking about the traditional IT data. We are talking about the operational technology data, which is going to be generated from various sensors, some millions of sensors. It's going to generate a real-time data, and we need to store this data into the cloud, and we need to be processed, we need to be analyzed, and while processing and while analyzing, whether we are going to ensure the privacy and the security, how we can achieve, how can we integrate this big data and the blockchain. The next one, which we are talking about, the fog computing. Anyone heard about fog computing? Okay. Right now, the fog computing or the edge computing, which is one of the unique technology which has been introduced in 2013 by various companies like Cisco, Intel, that are part of this to introduce this fog computing and edge computing, which will play a vital role it's like a distributed environment where it will work very closely to the edge devices. That's one part which we are interested with that. The edge computing and the blockchain, which we are interested with this. All right. The next one, which we are going to hear, the AI, ML, and the deep learning principles can be applied, or the mechanisms can be applied to provide efficient or self-learning blockchain mechanisms, like in the form of consensus mechanisms, which you're going to have it. The next one is cloud computing with the blockchain, which can be, which we can, sorry, which we can be provided cloud computing with blockchain. The next one is the vehicle to vehicle communication or vehicle to infrastructure communication. How can we provide a security? How can this the blockchain is going to provide the solution with a blockchain with the vehicle to a vehicle out of network, which you will have it. And then the interesting area, which a lot of research work is going on blockchain and right. So I want to ask a question. I think. Can anyone tell me something about, because this is the second day, I think you have come across some of the basics of blockchain. What is this blockchain is all about? Can anyone tell me something about this?
Sir, blockchain is a distributed ledger.
Oh, very good. Very good, sir. It's a distributed ledger. Very good. Madhavi madam told it's a security. Blockchain is something like a security. Very good. Any other answers? Any other answers from the other participants? let's we have it, because after the lunch, if we have interactive, then it will be interesting. Otherwise, it will be a little bit boring after the lunch. Okay. So for that, just right, immutability, very
Sir,
good. The story.
sir, we can say that blockchain is a type of database
Yeah,
that store
database
data
technology. Very good
blocks.
answer. Very
Sir,
good.
it's a
And
like a linked list type where instead of the
oh, good.
pointer, we point to the previous block using the cryptographical hash.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Yes, definitely. Very good answers, madam. Thank you very much. Now, I think storage of transactional records. Yeah. Now, see, now it's a little bit interesting parameters we do have, especially in the blockchain. It is going to provide a lot of features or properties of blockchain. Now, if we combine all these things, that will be a blockchain, right? What are the answers? Now, we'll try to see what are the possible properties which we are going to have it. Now, we'll try to see now what are the various trends of attacks against these technologies, how the blockchain is going to provide appropriate solutions, why the industry is looking on blockchain to provide the solutions for this cybersecurity. Because you are going to see it's a database technology. Now, if you see the database, what we are going to have, it is a centralized one or distributed one database, which you are talking about now. Anyone? Database is centralized or distributed?
Sir, distributed.
Current trend is all distributed or centralized? Cloud is centralized or distributed?
It's distributed.
No, madam. It's a centralized. Inside it is distributed, but it is centralized. We are going to have a data census. All the data will be stored at one place, right? If you're talking inside the architecture, maybe it is a decentralized distributed inside, but initially it is a centralized.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Now, see the database. What we are going to do, it is centralized, and it is very easy for the attacker to hack the system, right? So, therefore, what are the various trends of attacks that are happening against these technologies? If you observe here, 46% of the world population is connected to the internet, as we know that. Fortunately, from last 6 months, already it has been doubled that, because people were started using this more usage were there for mobile internet. Advanced technologies, whatever there in the market, which we have seen, and new opportunities were created. No one has thought that okay, we are going to sit in front of our computers and we are going to listen to the classes. We have never thought. Maybe after 20 years we can expect it, but we never thought such a situation will be arrived in such a way. So therefore, there is always a chance to exploit on their own game. 1 minute. మా సిస్టర్స్ ఉన్నారు కదా, వాళ్ళు కొన్ని సర్దుతున్నారు అనేసి క్లాస్లో ఉన్నారు. So, as with the technology advices, we know that the attackers are good enough to exploit the weaknesses of these technologies, and then definitely there are a lot of vulnerabilities where there is a chance to exploit them on their own game. Now, if you see whatever the cyber attacks which are happening, they are not textbook, or they are too real. If you see now, whatever the attacks which are happening or committed, it is happening on the smaller businesses. May I know why they are targeting only the smaller businesses? Why not to the larger scale industry? Anyone can give the answer?
Because it's very easy to attack.
Why it is very easy to attack, madam? For the smaller businesses.
No idea, sir.
Oh, good. No problem. You tried it.
Less of investment in case of privacy in small businesses.
Madam, please once again, please come again.
less of investment in terms of privacy and security in
Good.
small businesses.
Yes, yes. See, if you see, yeah, rightly said, madam. Now, what we have, so because the smaller business people, they will think out how to improve the businesses. They will not to keep a good infrastructure. They will not try for having a good infrastructure. If they are not having a good infrastructure, definitely the attacker is good enough to exploit the weaknesses of the system, and then they can easily hack it. Right, that's a major problem which we're going to have, especially the 46. If you see in 2019 and 20, and maybe annually, 43% of the attacks were happened on the smaller businesses. And then, if you see already, the cyber crime is damages will cost the world almost $16 trillion annually by 2021 this year. You're going to see, and from last 1 year, a lot of attacks are happening. Cybercrime attacks were happening, and you can see a lot of news are coming in and around with you this because of these attacks. Okay, because see, once you're connected to the mobile, you are not local, but you are connected to the global world, right? Your mobile is connected to the global world, and definitely there is a lot of problems were happening. Where they can easily exploit the weaknesses, because you're going to have the PIN passwords, which is 8-bit password, where brute force attacks will come into the picture, right? And we are going to communicate our keyword passwords, our account number through WhatsApp, or we are going to have it. We're going to store the information in our mobile. So attacker is good enough to exploit those weaknesses. What is happening in your mobile? Okay. So therefore, if you see 80%, 81% of the data breaches victims do not have a system in place of self-detected databases. So if rightly said one of the madam, right, 80% of the data breaches were happening because if the attacks were happened, and then the companies they are not good enough to have a self-detected databases. Now that's a major problem which you're going to have. Suppose, for example, I'll tell you now, even if you observe the students, they know. They actually how the attacks or viruses were injected into your mobile means through emails only. Through emails, you are going to get. They are going to get it. So they are going to apply some machine learning algorithm. They are going to see if you're browsing something in Google, if you're browsing something in your Facebook, immediately that information will be available to your Facebook, or it will be available to your Gmail through ads. Right now, from there you will get it. You are searching this one. This item is very cheap, and this is a discount. Maybe there may be chances there that malware will be injected in that ad. When you click it, there is when you click it, that ad, definitely that virus or malware will be injected into your system, and then it will be entered into the registry. Now you are not in a position to detect where it has been stored and how we are going to recover from that malware. We'll go to even export to recover. Even a computer science student in a bad situation, they cannot detect the viruses. That's a major problem we have, because we don't have the good knowledge on the system security or operating system security, or where the files will be residing. I'm not telling all, but the majority of the people are not good enough to handle their own self-detected databases. So therefore, we can say the cyber attacks is the biggest threat to mankind, even more bigger than the nuclear weapons we have. Okay. These are data breaches which victims which have happened. Last to know, more than 90% of the breaches were discovered by the external parties, and then 63% of the attacks were happened because of the passwords. 63% of the breaches were happened by weak passwords. Weak passwords means what is that? Your surname followed by your date of birth, your name followed by your vehicle number, your something spelled by your daughter number, or your son number, or your papa number. Something is a combination of that, where all the information will be available in your Facebook, where all the information will be available in your Twitter, where all the information will be available in some other social media network. So therefore, based upon these combinations, the attacker is good enough, he can analyze the data very easy. Okay. So that's the point. The smaller businesses, they'll use a lot of open source mails, mobile devices, cooperative websites, social media, e-commerce system, online banking system, network management, and backup and remote accesses, because they're good enough to perform any one of these things. That's a complexity to provide the solutions. Okay. Now, if you see what are the data breaches were happened in 18, 19, and 20, if you see, The manufacturing sector is one of the biggest threat we have, 27.4%. In public sectors, which we're going to have to 20.2, professional sector is 13.3. Information, yeah. Now the information they are happening on the information, because information data is the value now. Data is the money nowadays. So they are putting a lot of effort how to retrieve the data. Utilities, which you're going to have 3.9, transportation 1.7, education sector 1.7, real estate 1.3, financial service 0.7, healthcare is 0.7. Still, they are not connected. Healthcare sectors are not full-fledged utilizing this internet. Once it is connected to the internet, then definitely it is more data breaches is going to happen on the healthcare sector. Okay. My speed is okay. I am going a little bit fast, or it is okay to you?
It's okay, sir.
Thank you. Right. Now, if you see, 93% of the cases attackers are good, took just minutes to beat. Right. 95% of the web attacks are financially motivated. Right. Now you see, that's a point. Total loss assets will be more than prevented than theft, which is happening. So how it is happening? Because we are not external parties, but without your involvement, the attack is not going to happen. That's the biggest thing we need to have it. We call them as inside attackers will be there compulsory, or we are going to violate the rules and regulations of the security policies. So once we violate those policies, definitely there is a chance of getting the attack. So what we can say, a small mistakes are costly losses. Small mistakes will make the costly losses. Okay. So just we'll try to see the insider attack, which you're going to have it, the insider, which you're going to have it. That's a point we need to have it. Suppose, for example, now what is the major thing which you're going to have it? The outsiders are very difficult to attack. But only without the involvement of the insider, the outsider will not enter into your system. Right. Today, most damaging security threats are not originating from the malicious outsider, but it is happening from the trusted insiders. Now, this is a word very interesting. Now, blockchain, how the blockchain is going to provide it is trusted, a trusted environment. So that's a point we need. Trusted insiders. Why we are calling as a trusted insiders? Because we have grown up in such a beautiful world, like in the form of trust. Like, see, for example, from last 5 minutes, maybe 2 o'clock, 5 minutes, you trusted me and you joined 10 minutes before. Ramya madam has trusted me and she called me at 1:45. Sir, you are willing to join? Yes, I'm willing to join. But unfortunately, due to some technology problem, I'm a little bit delayed. She trusted me and I trusted madam, but the delay was happened. Right. And see, for example, that's a point we need to know. We trusted each other. Humans are good enough to trust each other. Like teachers are going to trust the students, students are going to trust the teachers, father is going to trust the kids, and kids are going to trust the father and mother. All right. And then friend is going to trust the another friend. Now, because of the trust, there is a chance of misusing. I trust you, you bluffed me. I trust you, you bluffed me. That's a point we need to know. That's attacks. Why it is happening? Because we are trusting the system and it is start bluffing us. So, what we can say, both malicious insiders and neglect insiders will be there. Definitely, there is a chance of having the more threats. Okay. Now, these are the hacks that are happening in all the sectors. Just I already covered. We can call them a ransomware attack, insider threat, political attacks will be there, cooperative attacks will be there, cyber war will be there, angry users will be there, malware unknown will be there. So different types of threats which are going to be. Okay, now see here how this insider threats means, because 56% out of that which is coming from the weak or reused passwords. Or if you are using any mobile devices, unlocked devices, or we can say bad password sharing practice. Okay, I'm going to give you my mail ID, please use it. I'm going to give my WhatsApp account, please use it. I'm going to use my Facebook account, please use it. So that's a bad practice, sharing the passwords. We cannot, though they are the trusted users, we cannot share the passwords, right? Some the other day they start misusing you, right? Unsecured Wi-Fi network. And the majority of the people, right? Suppose, for example, now I want to ask a question to all the participants. How many people have changed your Wi-Fi router password? How many people have changed your Wi-Fi router password? Okay. My screen is not visible. Now see, that's the point here. If you see that 90% of attacks were happening from the phishing mails. And if you observe, especially in the 1920, one in every 131 mails contains a malware. And we don't know, right, whether it is a good file or a malware virus injected file. We don't know what about mail. Therefore, but every one in 131 mails contains the malwares we do have. That's the point we need to be aware of. And if you see, for example, 230,000 new samples were produced every day, right? The attackers are good enough to exploit the weaknesses of each and every technology which has been used. That's the point we need to know. And anyone heard about ransomware attack? Anyone heard about ransomware attack?
Yes, sir.
What is something like this? Can anyone?
Sir, they block their files and important data and ask for money in terms of either Bitcoin or something like that.
Good. It's like something like kidnap.
Yeah, you can say that.
Right, it's something like a kidnap, but we are not going to kidnap the humans. We are going to have access control will be provided to the attackers. Right, they'll have a whole control, because if I'm going to hack your mobile and the whole mobile control will be there under my control, and then if you pay the amount only, I'm going to give the credentials to you. That's the point we need to have. Ransomware. Ransom means money, asking. It's just more than that. So that's the point. A malware that infects the computer and restricts their access to the files, and definitely threatening the permanent data destruction until the ransom is paid. Ransom is paid. So that's why it's a new attack which are happening. Okay, that's the point we need to have. And then after Windows, the next most affected platform is a mobile malware. Now, people who started using mobile internet very frequently from last 2 years. Definitely, it continues threats in the mobile space. Right. That's why you can say we can say here that Android is the second most targeted attackers of Windows, which you can see. We can see. So therefore, we can say finally, why cybersecurity matters for the smaller business? Because we need to be provided good cybersecurity solutions, even for not only for the large scale industry, medium scale industries, even for the smaller scale industries also, we need to provide cybersecurity. Right, that's the biggest challenge we need to. Okay. Right, now we'll try to see some of the IoT attacks which you're going to have it. See, these are some of the IoT attacks which you can have it: IP phone, printer, intercom systems, consumer electronics, or cameras, or we can have in all the way the attacks were happening. Right? Attacks were happening. So therefore, the success of the IoT is purely depends upon its cybersecurity. That we can say it. If you see what are various attacks we can have, we can have interruption, we can have user compromise, eavesdropping. We can have hardware compromise at the device level, alteration, modification, software, denial of service attack, man-in-the-middle attack, which is going to happen already, interferences and the sniffing, right? So some of the resources where it can be happened, assets, we can easily snoop in the IoT. Right, now if you see, attacks were happened at different layers. It can be there at the device level or hardware level. It can be happened at the communication level, or it can be happened at the cloud level, or it can be happen at the application level. The other name for the IoT is a technology integrator. Right now, if you want to learn IoT, you need to learn about big data. You need to learn about cloud computing. You need to learn about fog computing. You need to learn about networks. You need to learn about the security also. So therefore, at the different levels, attacks can be happen at the communication technology, application attacks can happen, and the application layer technology. Application can be happen at the cloud level. The attacks will happen at device level as well as the hardware level. Okay. So that's a point after Windows that IoT is 72% of the attacks were happened, especially in the last year. IoT attacks were very, very, very devastating. Okay. Now, if you see in 2016, then almost from there itself, already it has been increased exponentially. Almost 1600% of attacks were happened in IoT devices. So therefore, definitely in future, industrial IoT attacks is going to increase. So IoT, other name is also called as, rather than calling as Internet of Things, it is also called as Internet of Threats. Internet of Threats. Okay. Oh, right. Now I want to ask a simple question. Anyone heard about Shodan? Anyone heard about Shodan?
No, sir.
Yeah. Now all of you, if you are using mobile or desktop, try to open your browser. All of you try to open your browser and type Shodan. Try to type Shodan. It's a search engine. Now you see search engine for security, the search engine for IoT, the search engine for buildings. That's a Shodan is the world first search engine for internet connected of devices. Now I'll type IP. Everyone is following me?
Yes, sir.
Webcam. IP connected webcam. Now, if you see IP connected webcams, what we're going to see, when you click on this IP connected webcams, you will get the total information of that connected web. The total information. It's HTTP, TCP will be connected, and then what are the vulnerabilities which the total information will be available to you, including the port number also.
Sir, your voice is not clear, sir.
That's right. It is once it is connected to the internet, definitely we can see Russia, we can see Italy, we can see Switzerland has been connected, China, right? Big IP. You're observing.
Sir, your voice is breaking.
Hello?
Voice is breaking, sir.
It's audible now. It's audible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. It's now it's clear, sir.
Yeah. Now you can take Bluetooth, right? Bluetooth connected devices. I want to know it. Yeah. These are the Bluetooth connected devices which you're going to have it. Now, if you want to know the certain information about the Bluetooth devices which have been connected, you will get the total information of the Bluetooth connected. Along with the public key, is a public key which can have it in open SSL. Tomorrow we'll try to see this is a signature which we can have it, and these are the vulnerabilities as well. Note the devices got impacted by all these issues. The vulnerability may be impacted on the software as well as the. These are the various attacks. Easily we can see, and the attacker is to exploit the weakness of these. You got it? All of you have tried it?
Yes, sir.
Ramesh Kumar, madam, you are able. No, it's okay. Voice is okay.
Now, okay, sir, sometimes it like a robotic voice. The voice is breaking. The sound is
Oh,
very weak.
maybe. If anything is there, please let me know, madam.
Okay, sir. Okay. Okay, sir.
Okay. Shall I proceed? Everyone has tried it. Okay, right. That's a point. This is a search engine. We can have a webcam XIP, which will get the total information of that show done. Now, if we dig it into the details, we can get even the username. We can get this password, and we can get the privilege. What is the privilege it can have, so that we can easily get the data from those devices if you want it. Okay, this is all I'll show. Now, if you see for the IoT devices, daily it has happened 150, 150,000 attacking IPs were happened on different types of models, 361 models observed in last 4 months, which has happened. And it is increasing day by day also. Right. The other attack which we are interested with, when we are interested with, because we need to know about Mirai botnet attack. Right. Mirai botnet attack is the distributed denial of service attack. Now, Mirai botnet attack, something like, just to understand carefully, I think you people have seen the Rajinikanth robo picture. Everyone has seen the Rajinikanth robo picture?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Everyone has seen the picture called iRobo, English movie. There's a iRobo is there, iRobo. I think few members may have not seen it, but the other people, it's a very old picture, not maybe 10 years back, iRobo picture is there. What is the meaning of this? Now, if you've seen Rajinikanth movie, what we have one master robo. Now, that master robo has been injected with from a green chip to black chip, and that black chip, red chip, and it start malfunctioning, and it is going to control all the robots. Now, what we call them as Mirai botnet attack means we have all the bots, and all the bots will follow the master robo. According to the instruction of the master robo, all the robots will follow the instructions. That's why we call them as a Mirai botnet attack, which is one of the devastating attack in IoT. Okay, distributed denial of service attack. What's the specialty of this attack is it is going to happen on each and every layer of your internet technology. It can happen on HTTP, it can be happen on DNS, it can happen on synchronization flooding, it can be happen in generic routing, which you can have encapsulation IP protocol, which you can have it. It can be happen on UDP, it can be happen on everything. So therefore, we can say the attacks can happen on TCP, UDP, or we can call them as general encapsulation and the application protocol, which you can have. So that's the point here. The attacker is good enough to initiate the attack, and is have a command and control mechanism will be there, and is going to initiate the attacks to all the bots, and then they're going to target the victim. They're going to target the victim. All the bots will going to target the victim. Okay. So this is the way how there's a bot master. That bot master will have the command and control, which we call them as a denial of service for hiring the users, and then it is going to send over internet the botnet nodes, and then we are going to target the victim, right, by sending some malware loader to all the victims. Okay. So this is another attack which is going to happen on the IoT devices. So therefore, the attacks will happen on Raspberry Pi pods. We can see they tested what happened on Raspberry Pi. We can use on Arduino boards. So we can use it. So that is going to happen on different types of attacks, which is going to happen. Now, see what is this Mirai botnet attack, which we call them as this is going to happen on simple user name and password. Anyone heard about Philips Hue bulbs? Philips Hue bulbs. Heard it? Philips Hue, which is a smart bulbs, which you're going to have it. Smart light bulbs, which you're going to call them as. Right. So, what is that major problem? They use this Zigbee technology. Right. And what is the unfortunate thing is they use the same password to all the Zigbee nodes, to all the bulbs. Then the attacker is good enough to exploit the weakness through using some side channel attack, and they have reduced the key And once they get the key, they are applying on all the devices and they exploit that. So we call them as what? Distributed denial of service attack, which you're going to have. Okay. So this is where we can run the benign botnet attack. I request the participants, you can take this snapshot of this or a link where you can see how the botnet can be exploited. And run the botnet scanner to get the username and the password credentials. So the major problem, especially in the IoT, is authentication problem. That's right, because how do we authenticate whether the is a genuine user or not? Authentication is a major problem. And the unfortunate thing is that the passwords which are coming, it is coming from the factory or from the manufacturers, and we are not changing those passwords. It is we are making as a default password username and password. That's a point. The deployed in bulk without changing, and then we are going to break the policies of using repeated authentication, especially not only with the traditional, but also with all the IoT devices. So if you observe from last 3 to 4 years, 11 million passwords from the IoT devices. Okay. Why they are very insecure? Because it's a 8-bit password which you're going to use it. 8-bit password is a simply brute force attack can be hacked. You already know what is brute force attack. Anyone know about brute force attack? Hello. Anyone heard about the brute force attack?
Brute force attack is something like break the code. Simply, we can say it is break the code, right?
Oh, right. Okay.
Sir,
No,
it's
no,
a
it's not.
hit and trial method brute force attack.
Yeah,
That
trying every possible combination. Right.
Yeah,
Very
right,
good.
sir.
Very good. Trying every possible combination by like for example, there is 8 character password. It's just 2 power of 8 combinations. It is going to try it. Therefore, they'll tell you try to use uppercase, lowercase, some special numbers, some numbers, and the special care characters, so that it is very difficult to operate brute force attack. Right. So if you use common passwords, common names, and then brute force attacks were good enough to break your passwords. Okay. If you see IoT worms like Zigbee chain, just now I told you, which were used in Philips Hue bulbs, smart light bulbs, they used AES algorithm, and the same key used in all the devices. And then by using the side channel analysis to get the key, once they get the key, they apply it in all the devices so that they exploit the weaknesses of that. We call them as IoT worms. Okay. So we can say directly that the cybersecurity is the biggest threat of all the technologies. Now, even the security is required at the maybe in mid 60s and 70s. Security is required from 70s to 80s. Security is required at the operating system level. So people have started how to provide a device level security or machine level security, 80s and 90s. People were talking about, yes, once we are connected to the internet and once we are going to distribute the data from mid 90s to today, even we are going to provide a lot of the companies that are working on their protection of the devices and security. So we can say whatever the IoT, whatever the cloud, or whatever the big data or any other technologies which you're going to talk it about, right? The biggest thing which we are interested with is to provide the security. Right. Now we need to provide security at the IoT level. We need to provide security at the cloud level. We need to provide security and privacy at the big data level. At any level, cyber security should be a top priority if we want to make the technology to a successful story. Okay. So therefore, the success of these technologies, definitely we can say the cyber security should be our top priority. Do you have any doubts, madam, up to this? Anyone? Before I proceed to the next topic. Hello. Shall I proceed? Okay, right. Now we know that definitely it is now. I actually maybe 5 years back, security is one of the a very important problem that need to be solved by computer science people. Now the question comes to you, whether only computer science people need to solve or all other branch people need to solve, because we are talking about we are not talking about the individual departments now. The technology is bringing very close, right? Very close together. Now we need to know, even electronics people or triple people, mechanical people, or any other people need to know about the security, right? So therefore, it is not only in a computer science problem; it should be a general problem that need to be solved at each and every level. Okay. So what is very important, because of increasing connectivity, online assets were available at large level, and definitely it is one of the important concept to be resolved. Security need to resolve it at every level. So therefore, not only the government of India, all other countries, they started putting lot of money they're spending for the, especially the cybersecurity professionals, to provide good solutions to the various technologies. Okay. Now we know that the security is all about something like a protection of assets from the attacks. It can be a protection of assets. It can be something like a device security, data security, information security, or any type of things. We are going to protect for protection of assets, resources from the attacks. Now, what are these one? It can be that threats can be something like interruption or interception or modification. Right. So this is the interception which you're going to have it. Right. We call them as on availability of, or we can call them as denial of service. This is also denial of service. Interruption is going to happen. Genuine user is unable to get it. Modifying the data, we are getting a lot of modifications going to be happening. Okay. Quickly, we'll try to see the cybersecurity basics. The main purpose of this cybersecurity is to protect the electronic devices. That is not only the devices, but all the data which is generating from these devices and the information which we are analyzing, all need to be protected. That's the biggest challenge we are going to have, right? So the main problem is keeping the bad guy out, which is very challenging, right? Protecting your internal network, that's another one, and recovering from the attack, which you're going to have it. So what we can see, we need to know if it is a smaller business or a medium size or larger scale, doesn't matter. First of all, you need to identify your business assets. You need to know and then we need to know the document the impact of your business of loss or damage to the assets. Identify the likelihood of the loss or harm, and then we need to have some prioritization of mitigation activities accordingly, because there is a lot of gap is there between the asset, threat, and vulnerability. This risk is there, and it will be there at forever. We need to be resolved each and every level also. That's a point we need to be concentrated. Okay. So for that, what we need to know, we need to identify, and then we need to be protected. Once the attack is going to happen, we need to detect it, and then we need to be respond accordingly, and then finally we need to be recovered. Cybersecurity is going to provide these 5 parameters. One is identification, protection, detection, responding, and then recovery. Now we need a proper technology to provide an appropriate solution for all these things. Now I want to ask a question to the participants, because you already know the basics. Now, what the blockchain is going to provide? How many solutions, how many mechanisms that blockchain is going to provide among these 5? Identity, protection, detection, responding, and recovery. Hello?
Can provide also.
Very good, sir. Very good. Very good answer. It will provide all identity management, distributed identity management. All the information will be stored into the blockchain. Enhanced security will be their protection. Intrusion detection system, blockchain-based intrusion detection system can be provided. Responding. That's a point we need to need appropriate action. If something goes wrong, everyone will be observed, and then every validation will be performed. and then we're going to perform some recovering mechanisms, because we're going to have a lot of proper log mechanisms which is going to be provided in the okay. So therefore we can say the blockchain technology is definitely. Hello, any doubts? Madhu madam, my voice is breaking. Madhu madam. Hello. Okay, okay, madam. I think you missed text the message. So someone is mute yourself because I'm getting disturbance here. Hello. Yeah, thank you. So if you see the next decade technology, what we are going to talk about the blockchain is the right top 30 technologies for the next decade, and we can say the blockchain is going to provide almost priority as a distributed ledger technology, cryptocurrency, or distributed apps after internet, which we can say after in the internet, which we can say that blockchain is going to have next decade technology, which you can have. Now, my question to the participants: does cybersecurity already exist? Does cybersecurity already exist?
Yes.
Where? Where, sir? Where, sir? Now, you used any cybersecurity in today's FDP program?
Today we don't use that. Generally, we use cybersecurity tools to protect our devices to some extent.
Oh, good. You see, for example, if you want to use Google Meet or if you want to use Microsoft Teams, you need a username and credentials, password credentials. Without that, you cannot enter into the system. Right? That's a cybersecurity solution. And if you're using Gmail, you need to be provided. If you're using Facebook, you need to be provided. If you use online banking, you need credentials. These are all some of the mechanisms which you're going to provide it. Right? It's there. It's there. Now, what is the problem with the current cybersecurity problems we are having? That we are going to see it. Right? Now, if you see any online transaction which are happening in the traditional online transaction, all right. Now, user A is performing some transaction to the user B with 10,000 transactions which is happening, and then these 10,000 transactions will be monitored by the trusted third party. Will be monitored by the trusted third party. Right? Which is, cybersecurity is required the trusted third party. Now, for example, now why we require coordinator to sit in this session? In the sense, she need to monitor. Madam should be in a position to monitor whether how many participants are leaving, how many participants were coming, and whether the resource person is continuing the session or whether any disturbance is there. So therefore, she is going to monitor each and every aspect of the session. Right? Now we call them as a trusted third party. Why the trusted third party in the sense? But Madam is going to coordinate the participants as well as the resource persons. Not only today's session, morning session and yesterday's session also, two upcoming sessions also, she should be monitored, right? For that, what we need to know, right? We need to validate the entries, we need to safeguard the entries, we need to preserve the historic records, all the trusted third party they are going to maintain. For this, what is going to happen? We are going to provide. The trusted third party are very expensive. We need to be paid for processing fee. They are very slow, right, because of the maintenance, and there is a chance of fraud, subject to fraud, because we are trusting, they are bluffing, we are trusting, they are bluffing, right? So expensive, slow, and subject to fraud. Anyone heard this statement news? Something sitting in something in Dubai, I don't know. One of the bank clerk, I'm not criticizing anyone, but some of the bank clerk, what he did, that suppose, for example, in bank, we are going to have some 1,000 rupees dot 90 pice. That 90 pies he shifted it into in his own account. Like this, he converted all that prices to his own account and he's become a millionaire. Later, the bank identified that one and they have taken into the. I mean, that was happened because the we are trusting the banker people. They can be misuse us. There is a chance of misusing. I'm not telling that, but the fraud was happened because of the price. We are not observing that price. 90 pies, 20 pies, 15 pies, 18 pies will be there. Right, that pies has been converted to. He shifted. He transferred that account to in his to his own account, which is happened. Okay. So in anonymous payment, what is happening? Right, I'm going to the bank and then I'm going to withdraw the amount. The other person is going to the bank and then he's going to withdraw the amount, and then he's going to the burger shop to get the burger or pizza. You'll get the burger or pizza, and then the shopkeeper again is going to deposit the amount back to the bank. Now, what is this scenario is happening? Can anyone tell me? What is the scenario it is happening?
So third party involvement in the transaction.
Good, it is a trusted third party. The trusted third party is nothing but some bank is a trusted third party, which is happening. Right now, what is happening here? The banks are going to allow the transfer between the accounts. That's why bank is going to happen. Government is going to printed and controlled. Currency was printed and controlled by the government, and then we are going to use networks, computer networks, where the certificate authority will be there. We could have certificates which will be created, certificate authority to establish communication, secure communication. And then we are going to have, right, in all the cases, there is a trusted third party that need to be trusted. Right? So, whatever the cyber security we are talking about currently is all about trust based. It's all about the trust. What problem with centralized system? You observe carefully. There's all the 5 diagrams. Now, I want to know it. All the 5 diagrams which I told you, what it is resembles. All are, see, 2 persons are trusting each other. These 2 persons are trusting each other. That mother is going to trust his kid. The 2 key exchange is going to happen because of the trust, and everything is based upon trusted system. Now, centralized system are all of a trusted system which you can have. Now, what is the problem with this trusted system is central party maintains a large database of information. Therefore, it is going to attract the hackers. The second one is central party may be hacked. It will affect the millions of users. The third one, central party is a single point of failure. Right? So these are all 3 problems that will be rises with the centralized system. Right? So to overcome this problem, the trend is moved from centralized system to decentralized system. The trend is moved from centralized system to decentralized system. Okay. Now we'll try to see. Now we need to provide a distributed trust. Our main aim is not to go for centralized trust. We need to provide a distributed trust, because now now madam will say that I'm not going to trust you, sir. Right? I want to make my participants to trust you. Right? And then even I'm not going to trust madam. I'm going to trust all the participants. Now everyone is a part of the responsibility here. Distributed means everyone is a part of responsibility here. Right? So we are going to have a weak link security that we are not interested. We are going to have a strongest link security, but it is applicable for the smaller group. But we require a strongest link security for the larger group. Strongest link security for the larger group. Therefore, how can we provide a distributed trust for the strongest link security for the larger group? Okay. For that, what we are going to see, we are going to use the centralized system and we are moving to decentralized system. Decentralized system, something like a P2P mechanism, which you would have. P2P. Okay. Now, what is happening here? We have a centralized registry. We have a single point of failure, easy to hack. Whereas in decentralized, it is distributed or decentralized. There is no single point of failure. It is very difficult to hack. It is very difficult to hack. Now, for that, what we can say is decentralized systems are more reliable. It is fault tolerant. Decentralized system are more secure. It is attack tolerant. No single bottleneck. It is very fast. No monopoly. No single point of control. It is very cheaper. To achieve all these 5 parameters, we can say to build a totally decentralized system with no central authority, the blockchain is the one way to do this. The blockchain is the one way to do this. You got it now? Why we are going for blockchain? Hello? Hello? You got it now? Any doubts do you have?
Dear participants, kindly mute your phone for.
Okay. Okay then. Right. If you don't have doubts, then we'll go for it. All right. Now, if you see, now if you observe the blockchain, as you see, there is a blocks, and each block consists of set of transactions, and those transactions will be linked with a chain with the another block which you're going to have. So, if you take any blockchain technology which you're going to have it, they built the security in mind, the cyber security in mind. Therefore, it has enhanced security. And it offers a lot of promise in terms of cybersecurity potential from what of the attacks which you're going to have. You can see Mirai attack can be detected using blockchain. A ransom attack can be defended using a blockchain. Okay, or we can use any distributed denial of service attack or IoT attacks can be easily protected or defended using the blockchain. Okay. So therefore, it is improves the cybersecurity across the industry. So therefore, we can say the relationship between the cybersecurity and the blockchain are deployed in all the industry sector, starting from small scale to larger scale. There is a lot of relationship is there because it has built-in cybersecurity solutions. We need to be still it is early stage to tell, but a lot of research work is going on how to provide the cybersecurity solutions and how this quantum cryptography can be applied in the blockchain, where it is going to provide a lot of solutions for that. Okay. Now, if you see a blockchain may fit in the broader cybersecurity objectives, then what you need to learn? You need to learn theoretical computer science concepts. You should be good in formal methods. You should be good in programming languages. Because we are going to use as a distributed ledger technology, we are interested with the database. It can be used as a distributed database. Cryptography and security need to be provided, and then distributed computing need to be provided. So therefore, we can say the blockchain may fit within the broader cybersecurity. Okay. Now we are going to see that blockchain is going to provide a lot of growth in cybersecurity, which is going to provide enhanced cybersecurity features, preventing fraud and data theft is going to be provided, increasing the resiliency of the overall network. When we want to use a blockchain in IoT can be provided, that we can see. We can improve the overall robustness and security. That's another another parameter we need to be provided. And then, which is one of the unique solution which we are seeing in the current technologies, the transparency. Now, when we apply the blockchain to any technology, it is going to provide enhanced transparency. So therefore, that is much more difficult to correct through blockchain, because if we are using some malware and manipulative actions cannot be performed using the blockchain. Easily identified. Okay. Therefore, 33% of the organizations are already using the blockchain technology. 33% of the organizations. Now we are going to see here, right, how the blockchain technology. We'll try to see tomorrow with this hands-on, but I'll give a little bit how the identity and access management is going to provide a blockchain. Right now, all the Aadhaar card can be stored using the blockchain. How all the access management mechanisms, policies can be stored into the blockchain. Therefore, it is one of the important property in cybersecurity. Data management. All right, we can, whatever the data you want to store into the blockchain, yes, you can easily store any online data can easily stored in the blockchain. It's database technology, data management. I'm audible? Hello? Hello?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
So these are the some of the identity management, data management, improved confidentiality and data integrity. We can provide edge securing edge devices with authentication that can be provided using blockchain. And we are going to use instant messaging or private messaging like in WhatsApp or some other messaging. Privacy issues can be easily provided using blockchain. With lightweighted blockchain can be provided. Next generation public key infrastructure, right? Blockchain can be used as a distributed PKI that we can be provided, and we can provide safer domain name service can be provided using the blockchain, and reduce the distributed denial of service attack can be effectively we can protect from these attacks. It can be easily done using the blockchain, right? So therefore, these are some of the lot of the research areas where the blockchain can be provided. Right. Now we'll try to see one or two examples of the blockchain in cybersecurity. In tomorrow's session, we'll try to do some hands-on on this category. Once we know the theoretical aspects, then if you're already comfortable with blockchain basics, then directly I can go to the inside cryptographic primitives of blockchain. We can use it. Okay. Now, if you see one of the best example we can see RIMI. Anyone heard about RIMI? Anyone heard about RIMI? If you see, then you can type in the Google, right? RIMI is making the passwords absolute. There are no more passwords. They are blockchain enabled based, right? It's a small business company. They started using RIMI where they are not making any blockchain password. Only identity management which will be used here, right? RIMI implements what is that unbreakable foolproof user authentication. We know that Kerberos is one of the best example of user authentication which has been provided to protect the users, employees, and company data from any type of cyber attacks. Right? It will provide with the proper tamper-proof, unbreakable user authentication mechanism which is going to be provided. Okay, no passwords concept. Then Obsidian platform uses privacy and the security of chatting, which is going to happen. Now, for that, what we are going to use, especially, which you're going to, they use a distributed network that cannot be easily changed or controlled by a single source. All right, Obsidian, they use the risk of surveillances. They reduces that risk of surveillances, and they increase the privacy by using the alternative identities instead of email ID and phone number. Right? They use some different identities management, like a public key will work like an identity. Public key. Hash of that public key will work like an identity of that in order to ensure the privacy of that. Okay. Then other company called guard time, like we can see, so there's so many applications where the guard time they use as a keyless signature infrastructure, KSI, keyless signature infrastructure. They use the blockchain to create that one. Right. There's another one. They use this cyber security. They provide enhanced data integrity, speed recovery problem, discovery and mitigation problem can be easily solved using the guard time. It is an enterprise blockchain. They use it. These are some of the applications of blockchain in with respect to cyber security. Okay. Now, why the industry, especially the ICT industry, which you're going to use it, interested in blockchain? Because it has some interesting parameters. That interesting parameters we'll try to see. Now, if you observe here, because why it's one of the foundational and distributed disruptive technology and model where it is applicable broadly. It is applicable broadly, which is work like a database replication. The second important parameter is it is going to provide new services and new use cases. We can use it. We can use it. The third one, it works like a foundational technology. Now, if you observe that Bitcoin, the underlying technology of the Bitcoin is a blockchain technology. And many more reasons, definitely a blockchain is going to provide the appropriate solutions. Okay, it's going to provide different types of solutions. Now, quickly we'll try to see a blockchain is ready for the business because of some important parameters. As you already know, because I'm not going to cover the basics here, because it's like it works like a distributed ledger technology, which has a shared ledger. In this shared ledger also, there's an important property called append. Only append. We cannot modify, we cannot write it, only append. It's a distributed system of record that is shared across the business network. That's the first thing. The privacy, the other important parameter blockchain is going to provide privacy. Ensure the appropriate visibility, that transactions or the data, online data, will be secured, authenticated, and easily verified through validators. And consensus mechanism, it's an agreement protocol. We are going to use distributed agreement protocol where all parties agrees to the network. This agreement protocol which is going to be. Suppose, for example, if you agree certain rules and regulations, right? The Excel College of Engineering, whatever the rules they followed, or what are the rules they followed in connecting this HTTP, everyone should obey the rules and regulations. If you violate it, then definitely we can say that you are not eligible to sit for this FDP program. We can say. Means some consensus or agreement need to be there before attending this FDP program. We can call them as a consensus protocols. Means all the parties agree to the network verified transactions. Then we are going to have a smart contract, we can call them as. The smart contract is a piece of code which is running on each and every transaction, which we can call business terms embedded in each transaction databases, and it executed on each and every transaction. So broader participation, lower cost, and blockchain technology. The part which you are going to have it is a confidential transaction. Every transaction confidential. No other people can know this, but all other can verify it, but they cannot view that data. Cannot view that data because business give the flexibility and security to make the transaction visible and to the selected parties with the correct encryption key only. We are not interested with the cryptocurrency. We are not interested with cryptocurrency, but we are interested with the technology which makes of cryptocurrency. That's why we are not requiring mining and expensive computations to assure the transactions. Right. And the third one is a programmable, which because every transaction, every smart contract is programmed. So therefore, we can say it's a leverage or the embedded logic and smart contract that is going to be embedded in each every transaction that is going to be verified of the business process across the network. So these are some of the important properties that if you want to implement blockchain, these are the important properties that need to be provided. Okay. That's it from my side. I think these are the role of cybersecurity can be provided.
Dear participants, any queries from this session? participants? Any queries? Shall we wind up?
Yes, madam, no problem. From my side, it's over.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. It is fully informative about role of blockchain technology and then cybersecurity. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, madam. From my side, tomorrow one more session is there from my side, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Can we have some